How's everyone doing? This is part two. Paul Burdette. Gonna do the rapid fire with him. Just wait for him to jump on again. Instagram pisses me off, honestly. But I'm just honored to talk to him. Super honored. Excuse me. I'll grab you right now. Thanks. Thanks again for bearing with me.
Sure thing. You there?
Yep.
All right.
Perfect. So usually what I do at the end of these interviews is I do a little rapid fire. Um, so I'll start off with the first question. For me being from New Hampshire and Boston, the Boston scene, I lived in Massachusetts for years and mostly in New Hampshire now. But my first question: all-time favorite New England punk hardcore band for you?
Am I supposed to rapid fire this shit?
Yeah.
Oh, New England's SSD.
My second question: what was the first punk hardcore show you attended? Like real punk hardcore show? Was it the one you played?
Yeah. I mean, to with other punks there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like the first hardcore show where you saw like that energy and feel. Like, do you remember what your first one was that kind of changed your mind?
I don't honestly. There was just kind of some gradual shit. I mean, maybe Cop Out.
My next question: what was your all-time favorite show you played personally that meant the most to you? And let's say like His Hero Is Gone, and Tragedy, and Death Threat. What were the three most important shows that you played that you can remember that meant the most to you personally?
With each band respectively.
Yes.
Oh man, that's tough. All right.
I mean, there could be a couple that you're thinking of on both bands. You know, it doesn't have to be one for each band, but just like whatever has meant the most to you
I
personally.
don't know if I can say most, but I could probably rattle off some awesome ones.
Yeah, please.
Uh, Gauze, Judgment, DSB in Tokyo. Fucking incredible. That was Death Threat, and I actually recorded DSB, and Billy ended up putting it on YouTube. It's incredible. If you look up DSB Live Tokyo, it's
Oh, really nice.
fucking unreal. But afterwards, Gauze played, and they always made us play last, which sucks. How the fuck do you play after DSB and Gauze? But I took a knee to the forehead, and I assume I got a concussion. But I was there. It was the last show of tour. We were there for another week to record the uh, second or how many LPs did Death Threat put out? Two, I think. Yeah, second Death Threat LP.
Yeah.
Um, and I had to walk around Tokyo. I had just the spins the whole time, just total vertigo, and I had to walk around holding somebody. It got to the point where it was just funny. So recording that whole record, I had to lie on the ground with the guitar on top of me and look up, which was yeah. But that show was just fucking insane. Um, His Hero's Gone. Most meaningful. Um, in a really weird way, I kind of have to say our very last show in Memphis, where we started some feedback, played 15 seconds in, and they just stopped and walked off stage. That was the last show we ever played.
Who played with you at that show? That last show? Do you remember?
No,
No.
it might have been it might have been E150 because we were on tour with them and we were taking about a week off, and then we were supposed to play with um, uh, Counterblast from Sweden on the West Coast, and ended up not playing. Um, I don't know. Honestly, thinking back to Memphis, there were so many of those shows that were meaningful to me. Just like playing, like I mentioned, Dent Cleaners, just like playing tiny ass, playing a living room to like 20 of our friends, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Tragedy. maybe the last time we played was here in at Tonic Lounge here in Portland. Maybe just because it was the last time we played, so it feels fresh. But
Yeah.
like I said, there's so many. I actually started. I did a tour blog a couple tours ago, which at this point has been 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
For friends of mine who weren't punks and had no idea what tour was like, and so it's just sort of like a hey, most of the time you're just sitting in a van. And people seem interested in it. So I was thinking of a friend of mine posted on Facebook like, oh, here's this show Tragedy played in Boston in 2001 or something. And I went down a rabbit hole of like, holy shit, there's all these videos of us playing around the world.
Yeah.
So I went there and I made a list of all the ones that were kind of interesting, and I have intended to do another blog kind of thing of those shows and those stories, like stories behind them.
Yeah.
Because if I wasn't going to say that last one of the coolest ones was I think it was in 2015 in Athens, Greece. There was a 15-year-old kid the cops shot and killed, and the whole country just erupted in violence.
Yeah.
And as I understood it, for being the birthplace of democracy, they had a dictator for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think it's something like the 70s when they became a democracy again, and so they enshrined the universities as sacred. And so during all these riots, people were like throwing Molotov cocktails at cops and then just stepping onto university grounds. And the cops cannot come onto the university grounds without full consensus of the university board.
Yeah.
So during that, when there were like 2 or 3 cops caught on fire, they came to the university at the Polytechnic University in the center of Athens, Greece, and said, we want to come find these people. We know they're there. And the university was like, nope, that's not enough.
Yeah. Wow.
So anyway, we come to town. They're like they were going to have us play at another university because basically you just show up and have a show.
Yeah.
And anyway, we get there and we're following a van stuffed full of cases of beer. We pull up to the university and it's shut down. And they'd shut the entire university down for the day because they got wind of the show. So we're like, okay, let's do it at the Polytechnic. We're like, what the fuck? How's anybody going to know that the show got moved or anything? So anyway, we get there. They roll right past security, who apparently are just there for window dressing or something. And we roll into this giant courtyard, and they go and they start pulling out tables and zip tying them together. And we're like, we're supposed to play on this? And like a half hour later, there's a stage, like 20, 30 feet by, 20 by 30 or some shit, like a big stage, just tables zip tied together. Suddenly there's massive PA speakers, and a few hours later, there's like 1,500 people there. And
Wow.
there's like a giant reggae show going on in the next courtyard and some other shit, like just people everywhere. And so there's videos of that on YouTube, and that's one of the stories I wanted to tell. And afterwards, people were coming up to us, we're going to go find the cops and riot. You want to come with us? And we're just like, sounds fun. We got to get to the next town,
I know.
Oh, man, there's just so many stories like that. They're just hard to.
Yeah. No, that's an amazing story. Definitely. That. My next question. What was your favorite all-time hardcore punk show that you attended, that you didn't play, that you went to a hardcore punk show to go see a band? What was your favorite all-time one that you had nothing to do with playing, just going to see a band yourself personally?
Just 'cause I'm supposed to be rattling this off, I want to say that John Henry West show in Nashville, Tennessee with 7 people. Because they were just fucking incredible. Interviews incredible. And so many shows I've gone to are just bands that I saw, so it's harder.
Yeah.
And the bands that I play, sorry, shows that I played too.
Yeah, I know Mike from Endeavor was like, when I posted about us talking, said that Endeavor had stayed over your one of y'all's houses and said that it was kind of like in a sketchy area of Memphis, and he remembers waking up and like Slayer was like somebody was playing Slayer out of a guitar with the door wide open at like 6 a.m. in the morning or something like that. Do you remember anything?
No. That sounds like it would have been Pat though.
Because he was like it was a pretty scary neighborhood, and he's like, all I can remember is waking up and Slayer blasting and the door wide open, and the neighbors weren't too thrilled.
That was probably Pat, and a lot of Memphis seems scary if you're not from there. Even if you are from there, it's just, I don't know how much has changed in the last 22 years, but it's a pretty rough place.
Yeah. I also asked this. I'm a big movie guy. I watch movies all the time, and I always ask this: what was the last movie you watched?
Uh, Zohan.
So, man, really
Just it happened. I just happened to put it on last night.
nice, nice. And I also ask about movies too. What is your all-time favorite horror movie?
No, I don't really do horror movies. So you'd think that'd be an easy answer then. Um, I'm yeah, Rosemary's Baby.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a good one. I know you were talking about hip hop back in the day when you were younger. I'm a big boom bap '90s hip hop guy, like late '80s, '90s. If you've been listening to any hip hop lately, what have you been listening to for hip hop?
Um, Probably the most recent thing I listened to was "Go to Church" by Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and Lil Jon.
Now, do you listen
Or
to?
no, uh, or Cardi B, or the Cardi B song somebody put on.
Yeah. Nice. Now, do you listen to hip hop a lot or no?
Yeah, not a whole lot, but something
No.
catches my ear.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Speaking of kind of music in general too, do you listen to a lot of newer bands now, where the younger generation is playing in heavier bands? And is there anything that you've enjoyed that you've heard recently from new bands?
Man, I try to, but I feel pretty out of the loop.
Yeah,
Yes, but I can't off the top of my head.
yeah. Um, and lastly, my last question: favorite song to play live for you in His Hero's Gone, Tragedy, Death Threat? What was your personal favorite that you were like, yes, I wanted to play that song? What is the most important song for you to play live in all three of those bands?
Well, this year was gone and Death Record so long ago, it's hard to remember. So, Tragedy, I'd maybe say, "Can We Call This Life?" Only because it was, we always had to put it last
Mm.
because once it got into the end where there's no vocals, I got to just lay into it and would
Yeah,
just like I was like, okay, once I do this, I can't play anymore, and so it just kind of felt like a good exit. I don't know, just good release of energy. Like the end of it, just kind of just lay into a D beat and just so I can go.
yeah.
So
What
it's
about, what
good.
about Death Threat?
Man, I don't know. It was oh, it just always just kind of like one long song.
Yeah,
I think we always tried to do that Ramones thing where you just stop 1, 2, 3, 4 next song, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Well, no, wait, I take that back. There was that era where everybody talked for 3 minutes between songs, but barring that,
His Hero is Gone. Like, it's funny. One of my favorite songs is Good Samaritan. I don't like, but it's only like 45 seconds long, but it's by far like one of my favorite songs of all time. It was on 15 Counts of Arson. It's literally 45 seconds, but it's such a great song to me. And honestly, Monuments to Thieves, the song, is one of my favorites too. And Head Count, off of the Dead at Night in 8 movements, is one of my favorites too. Talking about all the old catalog stuff, did you save everything that y'all put out? Do you have all the 7 inches? Do you have all the CDs? Do you have all the stuff that you put out personally that you were involved in?
maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have one of every. I mean, I don't have like every CD probably, and I
Yeah,
don't know that I have every version of anything like that, but I've got one of every record at
yeah.
least.
There's a lot
And
of people.
some of them I have like 25 of because I don't have enough friends that give a shit to give them to. But in some cases, I still. I mean, there were times when I had like a dog with cancer, and I sold some test presses on YouTube or something that I mean YouTube on eBay, but I
Yeah,
still have a bunch of test presses of shit too. That yeah, same kind of same thing.
yeah. Sometimes I ask that, and a lot of people say they don't have hardly anything, which is, I always ask just to see if people actually save the stuff that they put out, because I know Dr. Lex from Daughters, and he was like, have half the stuff that they had put out, from As the Sun Sets to Daughters to stuff like that. So it was like, I always ask that question just because some people
Right.
just People don't save all of it. And that being said, with like Discogs, the His Hero Gone CDs and Tragedy CDs on Discogs is like going for insane amounts of money.
CDs, really?
Yeah, CDs. I think
You gotta
50,
break out that boxes somewhere. On top of our practice space, probably got like 300 of them sitting in boxes. Couldn't sell on tour.
well, because like I had all that stuff, and then I sold all my vinyl because I was like, in my early 20s, I was in like, late 20s. I needed money, so I started selling all my vinyl and stuff like that. And then I kept some CDs, but then I tried to get more CDs back because I'm old and I still rock CDs. You know what I mean? And I was trying to get 15 Counts of Arson, and literally on Discogs it's like $50 for and
Wow.
and Monuments to Thieves, I think, is even a higher price for a CD. I think it was like 65, the cheapest I could find on there.
Wow. How about cassettes? I know I've got boxes of cassettes somewhere. No, I know that on top of our practice space there's boxes of CDs because we couldn't sell those things on tour for once digital stuff happened, you couldn't sell those things.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't use CDs anymore. Everybody's into vinyl again. And actually, it's funny you say cassettes, because cassettes all of a sudden is like a big thing with the youth now. Everybody's making cassettes now. I don't even have a cassette player.
I can say that with cassettes, there's something about it because cassette compression's a real thing.
Mm.
You know that there's only a limited amount of space on a tape, so especially if you have the ability to, when you're dubbing something, to crank it up, you can make something really loud.
Yeah.
Just the same way that like a tape, like this recording tape machine I got right here, like it's a small format. So if you push it really hard, tape automatically provides a certain type of compression.
Yeah.
And there's that romantic thing about pushing record and making a mix is a different thing. It's hard for me to find what are like a first generation iPod's gonna come be cool again or something. I have to get me a 12-disc CD changer just so I can listen to things at once, huh?
Yeah. Well, if you ever do find those CDs, let me know, because I'll buy whatever you have, because like I said, I'm not that rich to be paying $65 for a CD. You know.
Oh yeah, just remind me. I'll look for them. I'm sure I've got some here at the house, but I'm almost positive there's stuff at the practice space.
Awesome. Now, lastly, is there anything that you'd like to, let people know what's going on with you musically, or if you're into, anything else art-wise or whatever, just before we get off? I know you have the 2 new projects that you're kind of working on, and is there anything else? And when are we actually going to be able to hear that? Do you know?
No, I don't know. Let's see. I wrote a book, but I don't know if it ever get published, and it has nothing to do with punk. It has nothing to do with anything. So you just mentioned art-wise, so
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know how it sounded there. I could play a few seconds of the thing been recording.
Yeah, definitely.
It might sound like garbage. We'll see if I'll play. Let's see.
Now, was that book out?
Is that audible?
Yeah.
Get between the speakers so it might sound better. Laughing at the end. anyway. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Is that audible at all?
Yeah. 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 Doesn't
Well,
sound.
yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. Looking forward to putting it out.
Yeah.
And it's recorded. Brian, who's in the band, the other band I was mentioning, with Aaron, who was on here earlier, just built he's one of my best friends. He just built a recording studio, and dude's got he's got talent, got incredible ear and good talent. Like that's like that's not mixed.
Yeah.
That's just I mean, it is roughly mixed. Like he's working on it, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
rough essentially. So
Wow. It sounds real good. I appreciate you playing a little bit of that.
yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Now your book, is that out? Can people get that book you wrote?
No, I bound a few copies just to feel like it was done, but I have no idea if I don't even know how to go about that or whether it's worth publishing or anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure.
Like I said, it has nothing to do with punk. It's not. It's like a fiction book, and
Yeah. Yeah. But still, I'm sure people would be interested in that for sure. Paul, I want to thank you so much for taking time out. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we're both working today. We're trying to. It's tough for me because I try to work out whenever it's possible for two people to talk about music and art and stuff like that. So I'm glad it worked out, and really I'm a huge fan of everything that you've been a part of, and I appreciate you talking to me.
thanks, man. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Let's stay in touch. If you ever need anything in New Hampshire, hit me up. If you're up this way or you're going up to the White Mountains or whatever, and you need recommendation or whatever, hit me up or about anything actually. Even
I don't even know where the White Mountains are, but you're my guy if I do.
All right. Thank you so much, and have a great night. And thanks again.
Thanks, you too, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care.